Right, so for today's video, we're going to be talking about a situation involving a TikToker and a big company. Now, interestingly, the big company we're talking about today is a company we spoke about previously, except in the last situation, the company wasn't really at fault, whereas in this situation, it seems to be the complete opposite. So there's two main people you need to be aware of here. The first one being local Korean girl or Bo. The second one being a company called The Real Real. As we can see by their bio, it says fashion's favourite source for authenticated luxury. I believe The Real Real is a website where you can buy designer clothing and also sell designer clothing, and then The Real Real is a middleman, I guess, and make sure that the clothing is real. And the last time we actually spoke about this company was around Christmas time last year, because a couple of TikTokers were posting these like Christmas hauls and showing these very expensive, I think like $30,000 bags that a lot of people were calling out as fake. And then if I remember correctly, the TikToker's response was, no, we got it from The Real Real. Then The Real Real responded saying, we didn't send you them bags. Either way, right, that was a different situation, and The Real Real wasn't really at fault. But just a few days ago, Bo uploaded a video basically explaining that she loves fashion, right? She's purchased from The Real Real before, but recently she found out something that seems to be employee fraud.
If you follow me, you know that I am a huge fashion and Margiela collector. I probably spent thousands of dollars at The Real Real over the years, but I think I just uncovered some serious employee fraud. I found an absolute holy grail, a 2006 Maison Margiela artisanal kiss shirt. This thing is a piece of fashion history, like if you know, you know, and I've got it for an absolute steal, $155. Crazy, I know. The item goes up, I quickly add it to my cart, buy it, and I get the confirmation.
Okay, so you get the gist of the situation so far, right? Bo has found this shirt that she really likes. $155, apparently a very good price for the shirt. But it's at this point where things start taking a bit of a turn, because Bo receives an email saying that her order has been cancelled, and she's confused as to why this would be. So of course, after seeing this, Bo reaches out to customer support.
Then, not even 15 minutes later, I get this email. Order cancelled. I figured it was a stock issue because when I went back to the page, it was marked as sold. So I reached out to the customer support, and this is where it gets insane.
And the reason it gets insane is because Bo was told by customer support that the order had been cancelled from the person who purchased it, and this of course being Bo. Now Bo didn't cancel it, so customer support said the only person that can cancel the order is someone that would have your like private information, like your order number, your email, your name, stuff like this.
The support agent tells me that I requested to cancel the order. I'm like, no, I definitely did not. He then tells me that their policy is to cancel an order if someone contacts them with their private information, which is my order number, my billing address, and my email. The issue isn't the policy. The issue is, how does somebody get that information?
Now this becomes even more suspicious when Bo explains that this is actually the second time that this has happened, right? So the order's been cancelled by someone that would only know Bo's personal details, right? And Bo even says that she uses like a separate email address for The Real Real for reasons like this. And according to Bo, the only person that would know all these key bits of information like order number, email, billing address, all this stuff would be a Real Real employee.
Information that is only visible to me and to The Real Real. And here's the kicker. This is the second time this has happened. A few months ago, someone did the exact same thing to cancel an undercover jacket that I bought. They impersonated me using my private info. I use a unique email just for The Real Real. The password isn't shared with anyone else or any other account. No one has access to it. The only people who have my order number, my name, my email, and my billing address all in one place are The Real Real employees.
And then Bo goes on to explain what she personally believes has happened here.
I personally believe that an employee is backdooring rare and underpriced items. They're probably purposely underpricing rare items, and when they're unable to purchase it for themselves, they're using their internal access to get the customer's info and canceling their order by impersonating them, and then buy it for themselves. When I tried to escalate this, I was shut down and told that the resolution will remain the same. I feel completely slighted, and honestly, this is a massive data breach. My private information is not secure on their site. I'm making this because I want answers, and I want to warn other people. The Real Real, you have a serious problem. This feels like employee fraud, and your refusal to investigate this is incredibly concerning. Has this happened to anyone else?
Okay, so that's the situation, right? This is the second time that one of Bo's orders have been cancelled by someone that know personal bits of information, and also just stuff that Bo would know, right? Like her order number, for example. As Bo is sitting here, she believes the only other person that would possibly know all these key details would be a Real Real employee. And because of this, Bo believes that there's an employee who is backdooring some rare items, right? These items that are at a very good price, cancelling Bo's order so they can buy them for themselves. themselves. Now, looking at the comments on this video, there is actually a comment from The RealReal themselves. We do have a much more detailed response in the second video, but initially there was a comment left on Bo's video that says, "We totally understand the frustration and we're actively looking into what happened with your order." Now, worryingly, there is a lot of people in the comment section talking about negative experiences with The RealReal. I sold them a $1,000 Rick Owens shirt. They listed it for $500. Someone bought it within 1 minute of a discount and I got $40 for it. Major employee fraud. Oh my god, I sold them a $300 brand new with tags Isabel Marant skirt and they listed for $50, and on top of that put a discount on it. I only got $30 from it. And there were a bunch of comments like this, right? And obviously there's no way for me to guarantee that these comments are telling the truth. We are just reading a very short comment from someone who's commented on this video, but the fact that there's so many people explaining very similar stories, it's very worrying. There's also a lot of people commenting on this video saying stuff like, "Girl, this sounds like $1 million lawsuit," "Small claims court / white collar crime," "I've always knew the RealReal employees were keeping effing good for themselves, but this is wild." And as we heard in this original video, Bo was saying that the RealReal employees or the customer support were just not helpful in the slightest with her issue. But this video went pretty big. I mean, over 400,000 people have seen it at this point, right? So because of that, as you can imagine with situations like this, if you've watched any of my previous videos, the RealReal then started being a bit more helpful. I mean, it's not only the fact that that video went big, the RealReal's social media comments are all talking about this. So this is on the RealReal's most recent video on TikTok, and all the comments are saying stuff like, "So who's the employee cancelling customers' orders so they can keep the items for themselves? Is it all of you? Y'all better address the lack of data protection on your end and how to ensure data privacy for customers. Are you going to take accountability for data breaches? I'm not falling for data breach and backdooring propaganda followed by a heavy PR campaign." Quite literally, all the comments that I can see on this video are talking about this. And that brings us to Bo's most recent video, an update on the situation, where Bo explains that she actually got to speak to senior leadership. Also goes on to mention that it's annoying that it takes a video going somewhat viral before something like this can happen.
Hey everyone, so I wanted to give an update on the situation with the RealReal. After my last video, I was connected with their senior leadership, and here's what happened. First, I want to acknowledge that it was so frustrating that it took a video gaining attention and virality for this to get a proper resolution. That experience with support didn't feel right. However, I do want to credit them for how they handled it once it was escalated.
And according to Bo, the RealReal just straight up admitted that this was their fault and confirmed Bo's suspicions.
They admitted the issue should have been flagged much sooner, and they confirmed that they are re-educating their entire support team to prevent this from ever happening again. They promptly did a full investigation and confirmed my concerns and suspicions. And to be very clear on what had happened, this was not a data breach or a hack. It was an employee who had permitted access to order information as part of their normal job, but they chose to abuse that access. They assured me that they have a strict no-tolerance policy for this and have taken decisive action internally.
Yeah, so later on we do hear that part of this action is that the employee is no longer with the company. And I mean, look, credit where credit's due, I guess. They have apparently took action, but I mean, it's very worrying that something like this can even happen in the first place. When you have big companies like this, their main priority should be privacy, right? Privacy for their customers. And customers will not take situations like this lightly, right? If they believe that their privacy is at risk and that these employees can use personal information of their customers to maybe get themselves a better deal or an item of clothing that they want and just get rid of the customer's order, people will stop ordering from that website. I'm not saying everyone, right? Because it's a big website, big company. I'm sure they'll be fine, but there definitely will be some people that will see a video like this and be like, right, I'm not purchasing from there anymore. Now, Bo goes on to explain that the shirt has been purchased by someone else, but Bo received compensation from the RealReal. We don't know how much that is, but received compensation. And then we hear that apparently the RealReal let go of this employee.
This is the part that they show that they're trying to make things right. Not only are they changing their company-wide verification process, but they are also actively going through the comments on my last video and reaching out to people who said that they had similar experiences to be able to investigate further.
Yeah, I mean, first things first, actually, that is obviously good, right? I hope they do actually go ahead with what they're saying here and they do go through the comment section. Again, it's a very annoying that it takes a video like this to go viral before companies usually take action. We've mentioned this before, right? Because you'll see a lot of people saying, why would the first thing you do in a situation like this be running to TikTok and making a video about it? It's because of situations like this. If this video didn't go viral, chances are Bo wouldn't have got any answers and the chances are this problem would have happened to somebody else. But because this video's went so big and the RealReal social medias are just filled with comments about this situation, it seems like they're now taking action. And it really should be a bit of a kick up the arse to kind of make your customer support better as a company, right? And not even just the RealReal, but in general, because if Bo actually did speak to customer support at the beginning like she did, and the situation was actually being dealt with, and they were being helpful, and they were listening to her problems, and they did the investigation then, who's to say, right, because we don't know what Bo would have done, but chances are, potentially, Bo wouldn't have even made a video.
As for the shirt, it was purchased by someone else, and it cannot be returned to me. They did provide compensation, which I appreciate, but honestly, I'm much happier knowing that they're fixing the system so this can't happen to anyone else. And the person is no longer with the company. And that is all I can wish for. So that is it for the Real Gate. And if anything else comes up, I will update accordingly.
Now, looking at the comment section on this update video, people are still not impressed with the Real, even if they are trying to resolve the situation. I mean, first of all, there's a comment here that just simply says, former TRR employee, this is just the tip of the iceberg over there. We also do have a comment from Bo actually saying, I'm still in talks with TRR. I'm scared that my private information may be used by the individual in malice. Yeah, I mean, fingers crossed that obviously doesn't happen. That I can see why she would be scared, right? If this person does have access to her private information, and because of the situation, that person is no longer working at the Real because of their own actions, of course, right? But you can see why Bo would be concerned with this. There's another comment here saying, holy shit, I just went back and watched the original vid. You need to lawyer up immediately. This is worse than a data breach. Saying that they will change their policies is not enough. Their legal liability is through the roof. Why would anyone want to shop on TRR when they just have staff who have access to all private data? This happened to you twice. Where were they the first time that this happened? It was just a damage control exercise rather than making real change in policies and security. You should contact your state attorney general. Okay, right, so you can see a lot of people in the comment section saying that Bo should take this further, right, like legally. I don't know if that's going to happen, right? That would be very stressful for someone to do, to try and like take legal action against a big company like this. It's obviously easy to say that maybe Bo should do that, but then you've also got to think about actually doing it and how much stress and how much money that will actually take. But either way, I would love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Like, after hearing a situation like this, if you have shopped at the Real before, does this change your opinions? Would this make you think twice about shopping there again? Or if it is just a store that you like personally, if you heard a situation like this with a store that you do like, would that change your opinions about shopping there in the future? Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I'm going to leave the video there. So if you did enjoy, leave a like, subscribe, all that stuff. Also, if you're interested in some other content, me and Emily have a channel where we play games, react to reality shows, stuff like that. So if you're interested in any of that, that's always linked in the description. And until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, goodbye.